As long as you're not doing anything wrong, what's the big deal? Almost in agreement at gmail.com. The theme of this week's show is just that. Almost in agreement.com. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Go to the website, almostinagreement.com. Check out what's going on there. Go to your favorite podcast provider. We're on all of them. Text, like, friend, share, follow. Do what you can do to support the show. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. Early voting has begun. We got almost a full week of elections in. And guess what? Not very many old people, and that's it. Anyway, we don't have the full breakdown yet from Chris Davis, but we'll get that here midweek this coming week. So, yeah, the elections are getting down and dirty, and I love it. And we're going to talk about it. And like I said, we're going to talk about the cameras. The cameras are everywhere. I don't know what to say after that. Just it's the cameras. Anyway, we're going to do a show. Here we go, people. Let's do it. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
How you do? What's new? What's exciting? What's happening? I mean, you had a very, the way you described it upon arrival was a very harrowing trip all the way from that neighborly county down here, and warning lights and all sorts of craziness for you.
Not that crazy. Just a little low on oil, so I had about half a quart. Spilled a decent bit of it in the parking lot, but shit happens. Apparently, the gas stations don't carry paper funnels anymore.
Really?
I was disappointed.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Do they have real funnels that you could buy, at least?
I didn't look that hard.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah. I don't know. Do you want me to start going off on cameras, or do you want to start somewhere else and we come back to me going off on cameras? Because I'm going off about cameras. And what did we talk about last week that I started?
Get it out of the way. I think we
almost restarted the show. Was it cameras last week?
Maybe. I think we ran into a couple things.
Yeah, so apparently, Knox County Commission last year at some point approved a state of Tennessee grant for the Knox County Sheriff's Office. That was, the headline on that grant was something along the lines for the reduction of crime and the safety of the public or something like that. That was the headline. And like 5.5 pages in to this grant that the Sheriff's Office asked for was essentially is 16 million? 1.6 million? 1.6 million, excuse me. Dollars of this grant went towards the Sheriff's Office is equivalent of the Real-Time Crime Center. They call it ARC, A-R-C. It's an acronym for something. The Knox County Sheriff's Office ARC Center, which will be their little dark room in the corner of their building where an officer or 10 sit there and watch you walk around town. Part one that I don't know that most people whether most people realize or not. I think, I don't know. Part one is that Knox County Sheriff's Office has had cameras and has been using cameras for a while. They have the drone camera system that they've been talking about. This will link into this cool ARC system and whatnot. But so, I guess to be on the broader sense of it is I find the outrage interesting. Not because people are outraged because they're finally figuring it out. Like, I hate on people for a lot of things. I hate on the public. I blame the voters all the time. But for the sake of conversation, I don't blame the public for not seeing this a year plus ago. I blame Commission a little bit for maybe not making that more part of the discussion when they were accepting the grant.
Yeah.
That is the point of Commission. The Commission has very little oversight on the Sheriff's Office. We talk about that all the time. The Mayor's Office has no oversight on the Sheriff's Office. It's independently elected, except for budgetary stuff. And when the Sheriff's Office seeks a grant and gets accepted the grant, that to actually receive the funds, it has to come to Knox County's budget to then be reallocated to the Sheriff's Office. And so any funds coming into the budget that were not in the budget when it was originally passed are required for a commission to look it over and say, okay, yes, we will take that money. I don't know what the point of that system is, when and why it got in place. I'm sure there's some fun backstory about people giving money to the county for influence or something like that.
Yeah. Under
the table, and that becoming a thing, and they're like, okay, well, here's a way to stop it, and this was the solution. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
And so, there's a little shame on the commission for not having maybe made this point when it was going on. Like, oh, you guys are doing this thing. But I think the broader sense of it to me is watching everybody freak out about Flock. It's always Flock. Flock is the target of everybody's dismay.
I think they've been in the news most recently.
They are, and they're for a lot of different things. One, the CEO is trying to say that these deflock groups that are popping up. Have you seen any of that?
No, I've seen some random stories of vandalism.
Right,
so these cameras.
These deflock groups are people that don't like it, and they range from very simple, like we are building a database that's on a website that's publicly available so that everybody knows where they are, up into including going all the way, like, different little subvariants of these deflock groups are defacing and damaging property, which is not okay. Allegedly, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I've got lots of feelings on the specifics and lots of feelings on the broad strokes of it. So, one, I think it's interesting because the CEO of Flock comes out and says we should treat these deflock groups as fucking domestic terrorists. That's a little heavy.
Yeah.
Should they be treated as, criminal miscreants and get fined or maybe imprisoned or other legal issues because they're damaging private and or public property? Sure. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay. I get why, I understand why people are upset by it, and I understand people's motivations on it, but it's still not your stuff. You're not allowed to break it. There should be punishment involved with that for sure. But to call them domestic terrorists is fucking nuts. That's just fucking crazy. That apparently LAPD is actually canceling their, apparently in the works of trying to get out of their contract with Flock because they've had a bunch of misidentification issues and other stuff.
Yeah, I've seen a handful of cities that have done that.
It's been costing them a lot.
Somewhere they've canceled it, but somehow Flock is still recording.
Of course they are. I've said that, I've made that point a million times. And again, that's the part of this, the commission. Okay, so anyway, it comes to light that this ARC thing's happening now, and they were about to announce the grand opening of it, and people freaked out, and so they've kind of shut down on the whole conversation, and the sheriff's office is kind of laying low on it. And apparently all this new stuff all these new camera systems and stuff that they've installed and are ready to turn on have been paused while everybody freaks out, and the heat dies down is probably what's going to happen. Anyway,
already installed all that they're going
apparently
to
install? Not all that they're going to, but all of that the grant has paid for.
Okay.
But the main thing, the big thing the grant paid for is the center in the facility, getting all the screens up and having whatever hardware and software and training for whomever is going to be in there sitting in the room. And it still goes back to, it's yes, legally speaking, constitutionally speaking, if you're in public space, you have no right of privacy, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But there's a lot of things that I'm sure there's a lot of things we could wander through that we can find that are constitutionally legal that we as the populace are not okay with. And I think this one is getting more and more to fore. I think more people are like, yeah, I don't care if it's legal or not. It's not the point. I don't want you to do that. And I vote for you and I pay fucking taxes. This is how this thing's supposed to work, right?
Yeah. Jacobs is finding a good time to kind of skirt out of this.
Right. He's
I'm not really liking it either. But bye.
And Bo and Betsy, for their sake of it, they both came out with public statements and very, I don't even know what the word is, what they call it, milquetoast, very milquetoast statements on it. First and foremost, I appreciate the people. I think Bo's quote was, "I respect the people behind the badge, but I want to make sure that we're not violating civil liberties and blah, 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 blah." And Betsy said something very similar. I back the blue, but I'm concerned. That word came up in both of theirs. It's I'm concerned about this maybe stepping over a line or whatever. And it's so you do or you don't. At least that's what we're told on the other side, right? Either you support police or you don't. If you have any questions about what they're doing or how they're doing things, you're some sort of anarchist, and that's not okay. And so they're doing this dance in the political line. But yes, Jacobs has this great opportunity to be I have some concerns. Peace out, bitches, and hit the road. And then Sheriff Spangler, for what it's worth, on the tail end of his career, is okay, whatever, I'll pause it and let the new guy deal with it when he gets here. And so what the last bit of implementation of this is on pause.
I guess commission was supposed to have a meeting on it, but they've postponed it.
Right. They asked for the meeting. The sheriff's office, who was in attendance at this last meeting, said, yeah, sure, we could do that. We can get the right information and right people together. Get you everything you need. We can answer all the questions you want to ask. When do you want to do it? Monday's good. Monday, great. Yeah, everybody's cool. And then today, this morning, first thing this morning, I guess they had communicated commission with that they are not going to come, and then commission canceled the meeting.
I thought it was them and like people from Flock said they couldn't make it.
Maybe some Flock people or whatever. I don't care. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And so I guess my point is that I think like this is one of those. This is another great illustration of the stupidity of the masses. I am blaming you, voters and listeners out there. Is that everybody's freaking out about Flock, and it's Flock is the problem. No, wrong answer. Flock is not the problem. Knox County Sheriff's Office and or other police forces whom are seeking out these services that are gross are the problem. So, that's A. Like, I don't care what Flock's thoughts are on it. I don't care what the CEO of Flockers, whatever rep they send to a meeting, has to say about
good companies and bad companies.
But
apparently
it doesn't.
This one has gotten some of the worst rap. I think they're one of the bigger ones that's out there. But
right, which is probably the majority of why they're getting the worst treatment of it, because anything at scale is likely to have people that have bad experiences with it.
Right.
And so the people that are at the largest of it are going to have the most episodes of bad experience. But again, the Flock part of it is secondary to me. Yes, it doesn't matter. Like, if the Flock exists, companies that do this service exist. I don't care which one it is. It goes back to arguments I've made in the past about it's it's the incentives thing I talk about all the time. I'm not going to get mad at a company for taking advantage of a government's loose policy on X or a government's subsidy or whatever a government puts out that a company takes advantage of. It's the government's job to set up an incentive structure to get the result that the people want, the people that the government represent. It's their job to do that. And so to me, this falls on the sheriff and KPD and Knox County Commission and the city of Knoxville government and stuff like that. They are entities of us. They are government entities. They are supposed to be responsive to our needs and wants, and we don't want camera systems. I don't care what camera systems are, whether it's Flock or Ring or anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point to me, is that, like, yes, Flock deserves all sorts of angst because they've apparently been doing lots of dirty shit, but that's secondary to the fact that the sheriff's office is asking for it, or the state, for that matter, is providing a grant so the sheriff's office can pay for it. Like, what's the incentive that the state's putting up? The incentive to the state is local municipalities fill out this paperwork and we'll give you money to do the surveillance system.
Yeah.
And so this goes to our state reps putting a system in place to encourage our local our local law enforcement to put these systems in. Nowhere in this do I recall. I don't remember Elaine Davis or Eddie Manis, Eddie Manis is prior to Elaine Davis, or Becky Massey or Briggs or any of those people. I don't remember a single discussion amongst the public of, do you want a mass surveillance system in your location? Or do you want safe camera systems, or whatever whatever the fun narrative they put on it to make it not sound as creepy as it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it just got clouded in
sure.
with a general bill of
sure.
increased
but somebody,
law enforcement.
Right, but somebody put it in there, and not dissimilar to what's the question you always tell me that we need to start with when we're talking
about this.
Right, who asked for this? And the other one that's interesting to me that I haven't heard anything on yet, I would think police unions would be against these systems.
It's taking them out of the job.
Yeah, it may not subtract police numbers, but it's gonna at least theoretically it would reduce future police numbers. They may not go down from current, but instead of hiring 5 more over the next couple of years, it'll be 3 more or 2 more. Because, like, I'm not opposed to the premise that the police should be able to surveil people of interest with warrants and other appropriate checks and balances to make sure that they're not abusing their powers and stuff like that. I get the idea. Sure, we got a guy that we're pretty sure is doing this, and we've got evidence that says he does. We need to figure out where he's doing it or who he's doing it with so we can get rid of all these characters. Follow him around in your unmarked. Get a warrant to tap his phone. I don't care. That's fine with that. Like, it makes sense to me. But, like, there's a difference to me between a focused effort on an individual and trying to figure out what's going on with that individual, and just having there's a difference between that and a system in place that has that for everybody whenever you feel like touching it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I think that people are struggling, or that people are coming to understand, which is why they're struggling with the idea of being okay with this. Even the hardcore back the blue people are like, yeah, I want you to be able to track down that dude. and get them off the streets. But I don't want you tracking me down at the same time. We're like I think it's Fourth Amendment. Fourth Amendment? Yeah, Fourth Amendment. I think it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Because any other version of this in the traditional format requires some warranting or some oversight on the situation. Like if an officer, like in a hypothetical story or whatever, so like I piss some cop off saying something on here, or a group of cops off. I piss off Gibson right now, and I just pissed the sheriff's office off, and they want to follow me around and catch me doing something because they're convinced I'm because I don't like cops, I must be doing things illegal. Whatever, I don't know. But you know, if I get up in the morning and there's a deputy's car sitting on the street, public space, whatever, right in front of my house, just sitting there looking at my front door, and I walk out the door and I get in my truck, and as soon as I pull up the street, he follows me to work or wherever I'm going, to the grocery store or whatever, and it becomes this continuous thing, I can file harassment charges at some point. I can be like, hey, you guys have a warrant for what you're doing right now? Do you have a suspicion? Do you have probable cause? What are you doing? Why are you following me around? And if there's no reason for it that's legal, a citizen can file harassment charges. Right. You were harassing me.
That's stalking. You
were intimidating me and harassing me with your skills, ability, power, et cetera, without cause. You need to have cause to do these things. And so what these camera systems are going to do is that we are all that. We are all under a version of that where you are essentially having a sheriff's deputy that's sitting in your backseat of your car wherever you go, sitting in the aisle of the grocery store, walking next to you. Maybe not in the store. Maybe in the store. Depends on if the store shares their camera systems or not. But at least as soon as you walk in the door of the store, they're not looking at you, but they're waiting at the door for you to come back out.
Yeah.
And I think
there's camera systems out there that just record, that don't have like the reader capability, like license plate reader capabilities.
Right. Which again, I mean, that's better.
Just a static camera to where they could find a certain car if they were looking for a certain car in a certain time.
You know, but it's like that's the thing though. It's like these systems are built, and the only way these systems are reasonably functional is if they're doing something other than just looking. Because these systems, built the Fox system specifically, they basically take a picture of your entire vehicle, and then the AI makes a written description to go along with your vehicle.
Yeah, I think I saw something where it was also picking up like people's like sports team sticker was on there as well.
If you have a bumper sticker on there, if you have a roof rack, so it's not even like they tried to. One of the things that when they were talking about it, you know, these license plate readers, they basically read your license plate, and if there's something like around it, it might pick it up and be like, okay, well, it's this license plate number is this, and they have a UT sticker right next to the license plate. It's like, no, you've already come out publicly and said if you have a big dent on your quarter panel, that'll be noted in the AI report on the image.
Did they?
If you have a roof rack on your vehicle, if you have a pickup truck with a camper, if you have a pickup truck with like a one of those roll cage, you know, equipment racks things on it, like the plumbers have or something like that, it will be noted in the AI generation of that image. And it's like, okay, so this is beyond license plate reading. This is vehicle recognition software, is what it is. Like, you know, and presumably, especially if in the way the Flock system works, because of their title, Flock, is that you have multiple systems, but they all generate that data under the same model. So, you know, it's totally illegal to do, and I'm not advising anybody to do it. But if I took my truck, drove down the street, got captured by a couple of those cameras, pull into a parking garage, change my license plate, go on my truck, the Flock system knows that's me in my truck the whole time. The license plate is secondary to their ability to identify me.
Think so?
I mean,
if you had other identifying,
I do. I have a sticker on my. I have a sticker in my back glass.
Right.
It's a tradition. It's a tradition among our vehicles. It's my my stick figure family, which cops say is a terrible thing to do. By the way,
I thought you were going to say Star Wars.
It is. It's Star Wars stuff. I don't have a sticker.
Okay. Yeah.
I have each. So, we've gotten into monotone in this house over the years. We've turned into all black gray vehicles, and so it's all Empire stuff.
Right.
When we had the minivan that was blue, it was the Millennium Falcon, so it was a rebel ship since it was blue. But yeah. So anyway, like, point is, I don't know. Like, and I tried to put this to an example on the Compass show. It's like, listen, I chime in on the show every once in a while. You guys don't know much about me personally. Some of you guys have met me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But would you be comfortable if for some reason I went out and got a bunch of permits and put a bunch of cameras all over time and sat in my house and watched you? I know you hate it. I know you hate it when I compare cops and individuals. I know you hate it. But it's a fact.
I wasn't giving you a look.
You were giving me that look. You were like, "Oh God, he's doing this thing again."
No, I was just thinking.
Because again, I mean, the argument's still at play. And next time, I'll make it a point. I'll reach out to Chief Noel. Be like, "Hey, do I get access as a citizen? Can I watch your cameras with you? Can I come in the room and sit down? Do you have a feed that I can link into?"
They're gonna say no.
I know they will, but that's the point, though. It's like, why? Why not? Nobody has the right to privacy. These are public. This is public infrastructure, for lack of a better word. Why don't I get access to it?
I'm trying to think of another example.
There's no good answer because the only
I'm starting to think of, like, retail businesses or whatever that have cameras.
Yeah, they do.
So I think there's some systems now in, like, grocery stores that will, like, identify when you come in. And I think Walmart's already started to do it, where they've got the digital price tags.
Yeah,
to where there's been some that have been accused of, like, changing the prices for particular customers.
People, yeah, it's an inevitability. I don't know what to do about that one. That's a problem. I don't know. Somebody will figure out a way to loophole it. I mean, I did you watch the most recent season of Dexter? The New York one?
I think so.
Not the Michigan one where he was in the woods. This is he goes to New York City with the kid. Okay,
no, I thought that was like upstate New York or something. Like some snowy area.
Yeah, that was the upstate New York one. But the newest season, he's in proper New York.
I've seen like some clips.
LaGuardia comes back. It's great.
See some clips where there's exciting. Like a murderer's kind of like club that he starts going to and starts taking them out.
So what it starts his first kill in New York is this guy that's been killing cabbies. Not cabbies, but like Uber drivers. And so like all like cab drivers and Uber drivers, all especially in New York, have both dash cams that face out and in, for their own security or whatever. And so the bad guy has a hoodie that has a UV, like a UV light strip that is in his hood. So when he puts the hood on and turns it on, it just the camera just turns white.
Yeah.
And I want to buy one of those or make one of those and just wear it around all the time. Like I don't think like at least in the grocery store, so that so they don't know how to price my shit.
Right.
I guess I'll just if the weird white face guy comes in, they turn the
even not just changing prices, but they're basically kind of doing the same thing that Flock is. It's creating a database on you of what you like to buy.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, it's a more complex, advanced version of what Amazon and online retailers are already doing. Yeah. Online retailers, like you log in, they know everything about you. They know, like they pull your cachet and they can say, all right, is this guy shopping for this thing that we sell? Has he been to 17 other sites already looking for something like this?
Right.
What are his last 10 purchases from around, not just us? And then has he done a purchase with us before? What are the last 10 purchases he's done with us? And how can we...
What can we throw at him that he might click on?
What can we put in front of him that he might add to on top of the thing he's looking for?
Right.
Or what can we throw in front of him and be like, okay, we'll throw in a free this thing so that he'll buy it from us instead of that other person, whatever. And so, I don't know. It's not pretty, and I don't particularly care for it as a consumer. But my interaction with a private company is different than my interaction with the state. And so, again, like number 1A is always going to be, if you're not doing anything wrong, and the correct reply to that is, well, who gets to decide what's right and wrong? Because if we were in a democracy like we're told we are, then it'd be like, okay, if we as the public are getting to do our input and choose these things, then I'm okay. Okay, then I accept. But if we here in the public were part of the process in choosing these things, we wouldn't have let this thing in the first place.
Some would,
but I don't think a Democratic majority would. I think in the in the wise words of Mr. Briggs last time I talked to him, you know, we don't do referendums in the state of Tennessee, but if we did, I think at least medical would pass in Tennessee. Medical marijuana use in Tennessee would pass if we had it as a referendum.
Maybe. It'd be hard to get a lot of signatures.
I don't think, well, we don't do it. Like, state law
right,
doesn't...
If we did do referendums.
Right, Tennessee doesn't allow it.
Right.
State law doesn't permit it in the first place. I don't even think there's an option for the state house to make one. Like, it's not even a public referendum. They couldn't even do it, like, from the legislature. They couldn't pass a bill saying, we would like to do a referendum on this on the next gubernatorial race. That's not even an option. But my point is, even our elected officials understand that they are doing things that is not in the public interest, democratically, presumptively democratically.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay, well, if that's the framework that we have to live under this model, then no, I do not accept. Because if I'm not part of choosing, if me doing my part as a voter is not actually part of having the discussion on what is right or wrong, then no. If I don't know if I'm not doing anything wrong with the way this system works. So I don't want cameras on me, because when you decide my left turn at a red light that's been there for 15 minutes and nobody's come through, that I just give up on waiting and run that red light, I don't think that's wrong. I don't think anybody would think that's wrong. I waited. The light didn't change. I gave up waiting. I don't think I should get a ticket for that.
I don't think they can do traffic infractions like that.
I'm not saying the camera systems can, but my point is, I think the general public would agree that was eventually, you know, yeah, okay, you don't have to sit at a red light for 2 weeks because there's a malfunction in the system. You're allowed to run that red light eventually.
Yeah.
But if it's just whatever they pass and whatever laws that, you know, Marcia puts on the books are all of a sudden, you know, wrong, then yeah, I have a problem with the camera system, because I might do something wrong even though I disagree with it. Even though the public disagrees with it. Go sit on my front porch and smoke a joint, because a THCA joint, because that's illegal now. And the camera system picks me up and I get a fucking possession charge. Obviously, they can't pick up exactly what that is, but it starts a process. It's a piece of evidence in a case against me for possession or whatever.
Possibly.
I'm hypothetical, man. I'm stretching here, but I'm just saying. Like, I don't agree that's I don't agree, and according to Briggs, the majority of the population of Tennessee probably doesn't agree with that being wrong. But the camera saw it, and we've decided that's wrong, and so my point is...
I'm curious the legality, if you, with your own personal camera, not even with like a license plate reader capabilities, but if you took it upon yourself to spend your whole entire day writing down all the license plates and descriptions of cars that like drove by your camera, and started compiling your own essentially list of what Flock's doing. You
should be able to. Like, well, I mean, I would see what realistically, Flock's just a contract. Why can't I? Can I get a contract?
It depends on what you did with it. If you then started, I don't know, reaching out to people, that could be borderline cyber stalking or whatever.
Okay, a good point. Yes, but we're okay with the police cyber stalking.
I'm with you on this. I was just trying to think of another example of like a private citizen that was doing the similar thing.
I mean, like I said, like if I just, this house wouldn't be a good option for it or whatever. But like if I put a big 30-foot pole up in my front yard and mounted a camera on there that logged all the data of everybody walking their dogs, driving by, anybody that crossed the field of view of that camera was logged data-wise, and I have this whole database that is just automatically kicking out every minute of every day. Just one of them. In my yard, it's private property. I have the right to do it.
Right.
People would be not okay with that.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I find it interesting, though, that there's more restrictions on drone use because it's aerial. And I'm thinking about it, and it's like, yeah, but all the ones that the city and the county are putting up are are legitimately like 30, 40 feet in the air. It's like, yes, it's attached to a thing on the ground, but I would call that an aerial view. When you got a camera way up there. But anyway, these drones can only be used in, like, the drone footage can only be, like, and this is state law stuff that messes with drone stuff.
That's what I thought whenever we did it, they were pretty much just going to use it for, like, UT games and, like, large public events.
All right, it's supposed to be public events and or active crime scenes. Where,
okay, yeah.
Like,
But even then, like those, I don't think they can fly more than like 30, 45 minute stops.
I mean, again, for now, you know, like apparently the ones we use, like the ones we're using over in like Iran and stuff right now are wired.
Some of them can be, yeah.
Like they have a big tether on them.
Ukraine's been doing it for a while. But
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about interference
of signal, right.
of signal.
Yeah.
It's not for power, it's for
Right.
control and information. But
So they can't be jammed, basically.
yeah. But still, it's like, I didn't know that was a thing. But I mean, it makes sense. I mean, like you take some fiber optic cable that's like 2 fibers, it's paper, like it's like super lightweight.
Still, it's a lot of fucking
a
fiber.
lot of-
Especially
sure.
for like the suicide drones.
Yeah. But, you know, but it's still, compared to the $1 million bombs we're dropping everywhere,
Right.
you know, I'm going to guess a mile of fiber and a drone are way less than $1
Still
million.
cheaper. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know, 30 minutes is enough of the cameras. Like, this is stupid. This is stupid. Like, that's the bottom line. This is stupid. It wasn't a campaign topic.
Right. It's disappointing, like you said, that it hasn't. Which, I mean, there's all sorts of things that go through the legislature, city, and county that aren't brought to the public's light. So
Well,
like,
and-
hey, we're getting ready to do this.
And I mean, there's a part of me that's like, way to go, Dems. Way to go, Knox Dems. You couldn't even get an idiot to run for sheriff. If you just had a moron that ran for sheriff, he'd be in the race right now. Or she. Because they didn't have a primary.
Right.
And so you got Mr. Gibson. You would at least put Gibson on the spot of having to address this issue. Gibson doesn't have to do anything. He just has to wait and be chill. Now, yes, there is some level of
They'd
him.
almost have to go like out of county to do it.
Do what?
As I think they'd almost have to go out of county to do it, because I don't think anybody inside the sheriff's department would want to run.
I mean, there's
a
gotta be-
campaign against a coworker.
Well, you don't have to be in the sheriff's department. You just have to have some of the different accreditations. You have to have been an officer.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think they would have had to have gone out of county.
I mean, no,
I don't
you
think
got
anybody
a
would have tried to, like,
KPD officer.
campaign against.
You get somebody that got pretty high up at KPD that retired a couple years ago.
No, I guess it could be KPD as well.
You get somebody in the sheriff's office that retired a couple years ago. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, if you don't have any, like, I agree. Like, if you're an active sheriff's deputy, even if it's like, you know, like a pretty high ranking one, you're putting yourself
You just killed your career.
right. You're putting yourself in a bad spot. There's supposed to be systems to stop that.
Right.
But if you're not, like, if you're out or you're done, you're on the very tail end of your career. You're like, you know, you're on the last couple of years left, and you just got to ride out a couple of years to get your pension and stuff like that. They can't fire you. If you ran for sheriff and lose, and
Right,
get fired the day after the guy that beat you takes office, you're going to sue the shit out of the county and the sheriff's office.
Well, they can just make the
and
last
you're going to win.
year or two of your tenure a living hell.
Yeah, they go put you on a beat or something like that and make you work. Whatever. I'm just saying though, it's like you're not at a huge risk as long as you're not, like, you know, in halfway through your career active.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know how cops move around. They kill people and they go to a different district.
Yeah. It's not untrue.
Point is, you know, like the Dems dropped the ball. Like, there could have been at least discussion in this campaign, this tail end of this campaign cycle, that could have forced it to been addressed. Gibson would have to address it, have to say something out loud about it. I haven't heard him say anything yet. I doubt he will. I wouldn't. Why would you?
Yeah.
You don't have to. But you could have this Dem who has no shot at winning just being go like, hey, vote for me, and I will turn that thing off the first day I walk in there. There's a little catch-22 in it for the sheriff, for Gibson anyway. If he does turn it off, he's going to owe the state that $1.6 million back.
You think they put conditions upon it?
Yeah, the grant says you have to do it. And part of the grant is a couple of years of operating it.
Huh.
And so you didn't do what the grant was for.
We built the real crime center.
Give us our money back.
Real-time crime center.
I mean, again, like it's just, to me, it's like I don't know, like all these weird justifications that people like just, you know, make it so, like, just it's like they bend themselves over to try to make it okay, and just stop it. Just agree, acknowledge with the fact that it's not okay. It doesn't need to be okay. It doesn't mean you hate cops. It doesn't mean you think cops are bad people. It just means you believe that they work for us, right? We pay their bills. We write their checks. Because we do. We collectively. I didn't even say me. I usually say me when I do that thing. I didn't. I said we. We as a community are paying for this. we're allowed to say no, that's not okay. And they have some obligation to be like, oh, our bad, we'll stop doing that. On some level. Yes, I agree. Yes, I'm confident in that statement. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, really weird one is that Belltown development. They've already got a handful of it built out. There's a soccer taco and an abridged burger.
It's like a huge one that was getting built. Where's this
up
one
on Emory, on West Emory, between Clinton Highway and if you're going from Clinton Highway, if you're taking Emory from Clinton Highway over to Pillsbury Parkway, like that weird wonky back way.
I think I kind of know it.
Yeah, and so it's huge. Like, it's a massive development. I think when they complete it, it will be thousands of residents. Like, it could very easily incorporate into its own township.
Damn. With
the volume of people it's going to have. And so, but like on Emory proper, and Beaver Creek runs along in there too. So there's a gap between the south side between Emory and Beaver Creek is their commercial and their super high density section. They're still building the apartments and stuff, but they have this little shopping center basically. It's got a couple restaurants and an ice cream shop in it currently. And the developer is wanting to put one of these doors in for this shopping center, and it's really weird. I don't understand the conversation. I don't know if you caught any of it.
No.
It's really weird because it's all private. So essentially what they're asking for is to take this kind of private courtyard that's in the middle of these little restaurants and stuff like that and treat it like public property and then apply the door rules to it.
What door rules are you talking about?
Door is the designated outdoor refreshment area, which went into effect today in Market Square. The first drink walked out a door.
I thought they were calling it something else.
Walked out the door. Dora the Explorer.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what it was.
Which I asked because we want to do something here in a couple months in the Holler, if we could have a special event Dora zone. And I got a no, as usual. And so
I saw that got mentioned in the story. I want to say they called it like Holler Fest or something.
What story?
That was talking about the Dora going on in Market Square. It started today.
Yeah.
I know it starts.
No, it started
Monday?
today. It started earlier today. Yes. No, what did they talk about my Holler Fest?
They mentioned that there was the legislation that I guess got included that allowed you guys to have your event down there or whatever.
That has nothing to do with Dora at all.
I guess it was not necessarily a precursor, but it started opening up the door for in other areas to have outdoor events.
Well, no, what it did was it took what was special about Market Square, Gay Street, the old city, away from them, and so they needed to make something new special for them. No, I don't know. I have no idea. They're as far as I understand, they're like my ordinance change that we got.
It was allowing special events in other areas outside of what they normally had been allowing.
But the the difference is that it is a closed section of public space that a third party nonprofit organization is selling alcohol. Because we can't on Holaroo.
Right.
You can't walk out my door with a drink and go out and watch the Derby. You have to stay inside with your drink. You can't take a drink that you bought from the event out on the street corner and walk in my front door with it.
Oh, man.
It's not a good...
There's some team that created an online election guide to help inform Knox County voters. We're slacking.
Nobody's going to read it, buddy. Good job. Way to go.
What?
Waste your time.
Not right now. I was trying to find what I mentioned.
No, I'm saying, like, some teen created a thing that nobody's going to use. I get it. I get it. I mean, so I stopped by and was hanging out with my parents, and like, who should we vote for? It's like, I'm not telling you who to vote for.
Right.
Tell me what your priorities are, and I'll tell you who's closer to what you want.
Apparently the commission meeting on the flock was they were going to have a workshop that got canceled.
Yeah. I mean, that was.
So it wasn't. I thought it was actually a part of like a meeting.
No, it was just basically. Well, one of these workshops is it's a way for them to do a public meeting with all the commissioners that want to come and just talk about stuff and not have to worry about sunshine. It's really all these, as all the workshops are. Because they're not allowed to get together and chat about items that are potentially votable without it being public. And I think it's an invitation to the public to at least attend. I don't know if the public's allowed to have input in the workshops.
I think it's a workshop. Yeah, I would think that's just commission.
I mean, I think it'd be up to the commissioners the day of. I think it'd be one of those. We could suspend the rules and allow for public comment. But 6 or half dozen. What are you trying to find?
The one that talked about the Dora.
Oh.
I was trying to remember what they called. I want to say they called it like Hollerfest. But happy Hollerfest.
Yeah, probably something.
I was like, I don't think that's right.
No, it's not right. Oh, you tell me. Give me the email of whomever wrote the article, and I will send them a correction.
Like, you better add this on as your.
You better put this correction in, and you're misattributing the work I did to whatever you're talking about because I had nothing to do with that. But anyway, this Belltown's wanting to do this Dora zone, and it's just like, as I understand the way alcohol law works in the state of Tennessee, it's private property, and shared patios are okay. So if this is a shared private property space, you just make that into everybody's combined deck, and it's fine. You don't need some special zone whatever thing. I don't understand that part. Maybe I'm misunderstanding my
Just to do it outside. You said they would have to close it off.
Right, it'd have to be enclosed, and maybe that's what they don't want to build, like a big fence railing thing to enclose the space.
Because then you run into fire code.
No, I mean you can have plenty of egress.
Yeah.
You're not obliged to have somebody work the egress. At most, you're obliged to have some signage that says you can't leave this area with your drink and you can't enter this area with food or drink. And what's weird about it is that it's a soccer taco and an abridged burger company, and from my insiders in the know, neither of them asked for it. And they're the two businesses currently there that have alcohol permits.
Right.
Because I would, honestly, in the situation that I see it, I wouldn't want to participate. Because
I think it would be any kind of advantage or some kind of plus for the developer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that
rent with that option available.
As big as that development is, I'm assuming they have some more restaurants in the plans. But if I'm Soccer Taco or whatever, it's like, so I take all the liability, I take all the risk. If you totally racist joke, but I do it anyway. If you come in and get a margarita and a Modelo, and walk out on this patio space and give that Modelo to your 15-year-old cousin, and you sit out there and enjoy your drinks, and I don't stop it, I'm liable as Soccer Taco. And at some level, so is a bridge because it's a shared patio space. If I'm either one of them, I don't want to deal with that because unless part of the DORA rules includes security, which if it does include security, which this is one of the things that I have a problem with Market Square, but if it does include security, the development's going to have to pay for the sheriff's office because that's county where it is.
All right.
Knox County Sheriff's deputies are going to be there hanging out. We're not paying for that as residents. That's going to be a private security system version of Knox County Police or Knox County Sheriff's Office. That's not active. That's not an active on-duty officer.
Right.
Because that's illegal. An on-duty officer cannot work a scene like that. An off-duty one can. They're not supposed to do it in uniform, but they do.
There was Nashville company that got in trouble.
Right. They're not allowed to check IDs or be part of the service process, but they are allowed to work security. Yeah. But that's fine if that's what they do or whatever. But again, to me, I don't understand. I don't understand the logic of it. Period. I don't understand. If I was on Market Square right now, I don't know exactly how it works out like that. You do have the benefit of KPD has full-time officers that hang out down there all the time. So you do have a level of free security baked in.
To an extent, yeah. I don't know how often they patrol that area.
No, they're at least for the majority of the day, the horses are down there walking around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't been on there in a long time.
Yeah, like the horses are down there for on the weekends especially.
So do they pretty much stay on Market Square, or they kind of go down to Crutch and then back up Gay and just kind of do circles?
I don't know. They hang out down there and do their thing. But I think there is a.
Do they have poop bags?
There are officers assigned to the area, and they work entire shifts hanging out down there. Which, it's 6 or half dozen. Obviously, presumably it's not hurting business. Like it's one of the conversations I've had with my neighbors. Like I personally have requested it, but it's like we need to talk about it as a neighborhood. And it's what I originally asked for was different. But my new ask from KPD is basically like, hey, can you maybe not exactly every hour or every 2 hours, something like that, but like whoever's working the area. Because we're in the Eastern Command Center or district or whatever. So whoever's in Eastern, however many officers you have on shift that are working Eastern, can you have one just swing in every couple hours during their shift? Or maybe a couple of them rotate through it or whatever. I don't care. But just swing in, park the car, get out, just walk the neighborhood, maybe stick their head in the door, say hello to management of my place and the other managers at the other businesses and stuff like down there. And then good night, having any issues, anything we need to be aware of. No, everything's great. Good to see you. Have a great night.
Yeah.
You need a Coke or coffee? We got you, buddy. Whatever. But just a quick pop in, just so we know that they're coming around as the businesses.
The patrons know.
After a little while, the patrons will understand that there is a presence. Not an overwhelming presence, not anybody trying to stop anything or hurt anybody or get anybody in trouble. But, because inversely too, it's like, okay, so, you're out at one of the bars in the area, and there's, I don't know, your ex is there who you have a restraining order out on. Like, I've been in this situation as a bartender and bar manager where I've had some girl come up to me and be like, my ex is here. It's like, okay, well, he's got a restraining order. He can't be here. And it's like, okay, I respect that.
They want you to be the bad guy.
But that's not my fucking job,
Right. What
am I supposed to do? You want me to kick him out? I don't have any paperwork that says anything. You just might be like, I don't know. I'm not trying to take a side here.
Right.
I would say this is a terrible spot to put me in.
It sounds like they want you to call the cops, so
right.
The offending party or whatever is not like, well, you called the cops on me. It's like, no, the business did.
Right. But either way, it's just like, I don't like being in that position.
Right.
It would be nice to know that an officer will be by soon.
Yeah.
And an officer stopping by isn't abnormal. You know what I'm saying? So if we do end up calling because the situation is happening and an officer comes in to check on us, it's normal, and not everybody doesn't get all weird because a cop showed up.
Right.
They're used to seeing cops around, and so everybody doesn't get all weird about it. And so even if it is I called you in, it's much more low-key when you come in than when I call you in and that's the first time anybody's seen a cop in there in a year.
Right, yeah. I used to see it at Barley's, Downtown Grill and Brewery.
Yeah, just stop in, say hi.
Yeah.
No big deal.
They just walk in, walk around, they're like, okay.
They don't need to even walk around. I would prefer they not walk around. Just walk in, check in with the staff, and then bounce.
Yeah.
You'll be seen. Everybody will see you. Everybody will be like, hey, there's a cop in here. And it's like, yeah, they come in, check on us, make sure everything's cool. Make sure you guys aren't being crazy on us. Everything's cool. That's my ask. And so, anyway, I think it's weird. I think it's weird that they're asking for it because I don't think they need this. Belltown thing doesn't need to ask for it because they can do it by right already. They just have to get their beer permit corrected where they have a big shared patio space because that's a thing that county beer board will permit, a shared patio space. And it's private property. And then they have all the to me, it feels like it's a liability shift.
Would businesses really want to have a shared patio? Because if I'm a business owner, I don't know if I'd want a shared patio.
Well, then you don't want a DORA zone in your shared patio anyway. They already have the shared patio. It's just whether they can do alcohol service on it or not.
Okay.
Or they may each have their own little patio in front of their doors, and then it opens up into this area.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's not any. But if you went and got a taco and I went and got a burger, and we went out and sat in the middle on neither patio, that's the zone they're talking about.
Right.
And so, yeah, again, the question is does the landlord then tend to all the cleanup and stuff like that, or is both the businesses are supposed to go out there and clean up the stuff that's in the middle? I don't know. That's another question I have about the Market Square one. Like, is somebody that works at Press Pub supposed to go out and pick up all the trash?
I'd probably leave it to the city.
Or the city goes out there and picks up a bunch of trash out there?
You could just leave it to the city, just like any other day that people throw their trash and shit on the ground.
Yeah, I just think, that's what that's what it seems like. That's my feeling from this Belltown request, is they want the city to come, or they want the county on this in their situation. They want their county to cover security and cover cleanup. They want to get they want the benefits of the county being involved, so that they don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
The county is trying to change their budget process. My very own District 4 Shane Jackson, District 4 for the win, is trying to change the approval process, which basically says, because like state law requires 2 readings, and essentially, basically, the idea is you can't add an amendment on the second reading. If you want to change something, it's got to be on the first voting meeting on the thing.
I would have thought that was already a rule.
That's what Gina did. She came to the second meeting and said, "I'd like to do this amendment," and it passed. And that's where the $4 million came out of Knox County Schools and went into the county coffers to pay county employees a 6% raise.
So I wouldn't consider that a second reading. That's a first reading. You just changed it.
No, it's an amendment to the first reading.
Yeah, I'm with him on that. Yeah, I don't think.
It seems like, I don't know. The whole process seems weird to me, because it seems like it's and then we're here, and then it's just back to back. Yes, done. Is generally the way it happens. Because that's the thing about the Oster thing. It's like, where did it come from? Like, we still don't have a clear answer on where that came from her. But it's like, we had budget hearings on all these different parts and pieces, and she was a part of those budget hearings, and they were part of the conversation. Like, it wasn't that she was just sitting there getting told what the mayor wanted. She was part of those conversations. It never came up.
Yeah, but I guess
and then it went into the mayor's budget as is, and then it came back. She's like, well, let's do a quick change here.
Yeah, I hate to call it strategic, but essentially, if you knew that, it passed pretty well in the first reading, so more than likely it's going to pass well in the second reading, like, that's the best time to throw in some shit.
Yeah, but it's the worst time because, it's the best time because you're going to get away with it, but it's the worst time because you're not going to get away with it but it's also interesting. Honestly, it's an issue with the timing of elections. Had she won her primary, which she didn't, but had she won her primary, she might have been in a different place to make that move. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
making that move when she's still on the ballot would have been a whole lot harder.
True.
But since she lost her election, she didn't have a political need to not do it. So, I don't know. There's some back and forth on that. St. Mary's is going to do a bunch of housing on the St. Mary's property up there above the Public Safety Center.
You mentioned that last week, maybe.
That's tip-tops of new stuff this week. I
saw I think it's Knox County Schools was changing the way they are trying to amend the process of questioning whether or not a book is able to be on the bookshelf.
Have you seen that Miss Blackburn's, one of Miss Blackburn's new campaign things is no phones in schools?
I saw the beginning of one.
Bell to bell?
It was talking about technology.
Bell to bell, no cell. Good phrase. Good phrase.
Yeah.
My mom agrees with it. My mom's on board 100%. And I told her that Marsha Blackburn's a psychopath, so go ahead, Mom. Whatever you want. And both my parents...
you can agree with a proposal and still disagree with the person.
Well, I was trying to tell my mom that I think that... Because, Knox County Schools is doing some stuff with the Chromebooks. They're minimizing the Chromebooks this next year.
Yeah.
And
I think that was the state legislation that passed that.
No, my mom...
There was talk of trying to...
It's budget. It's just budget stuff. The state didn't send that $3.8 million. The county took $4 million away from them. They don't have the money to replace all the Chromebooks that kids break every day.
No.
And so they're minimizing the use of the Chromebooks so that they don't have to buy more.
I thought part of it was a push to have less, tech learning, basically.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, we've talked about this a bunch of times. I don't know what the solution is here. Literally, if I'm not doing physical labor, like mowing the lawn, I'm on a computer. Anything work-wise I do, like, yes, the interaction with customers is an interaction with customers, but even that is interrupted by me touching a computer to bring their shit up.
Right.
You know, like, I don't know. I don't know the right answer.
I guess they've questioned with the increased use of technology in school, like even day to day in the classroom, of whether that's been a kind of a hindrance to some of our reading and math scores and whatnot, because we're doing everything on a computer and not by hand, actually, writing out something or
and
doing a math equation by hand.
And myself listens to the books on tape instead of reading the book.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Again, like I said, I don't know the correct answer. I do know as a parent, my kid's taking his cell phone to school. I do have a weird one. Like, I have a weird one that I don't want to say out loud right now because I have a kid in the room, but I actually told it to him in his face, so it doesn't really matter. Like, if we had a shooting, like it's so funny. My high schooler has never participated in the active shooter drills at West High School.
Really?
Because they always do them during this, what they call advisory. Thank you. The advisory period. And I think it's a pretty cool idea.
Like a study hall period?
Sort of. Apparently, like, it's a really cool idea that apparently they completely fail, at least at West, or most of the schools are failing to actually use it for what it is. So, it's like a 30-minute or 40-minute class where it's like a homeroom kind of thing, where it's a place where you can check in and you can do some general school-wide stuff, nothing particularly important, but if there's a school-wide issue, sign up for yearbook, do club things, stuff like that. But like once it settles in, it's supposed to be hey, advisory teacher, I'm going to go check with my math teacher because I'm not understanding what we're doing right now. And so it's like you could go and use your advisory for like a mini tutoring period. And you can go find your teacher of the class that you're having problems with and go spend that time in theirs, even though your advisory is here. But you can spend that time in a classroom of the teacher of a subject that you need help with.
So does, I guess, that entire grade all have advisory at the same time to where there's teachers available?
The entire school has advisory at the same time.
Okay.
And so like an advisory teacher, so like if I'm a math teacher for the entire day, right, I'm in my classroom and I have a classroom full of kids that are in my advisory.
Yeah.
But then I have kids coming in from other advisories because they have questions about stuff we're working on. And then I have kids that are in my advisory that are going to other teachers during that period.
I was able to do that for like a math teacher did it, but he did it like before school started.
Right.
You'd come in like 30 minutes or an hour or whatever.
But it's like it seems like a pretty large school. So anyway, if you're in sports balls, you end up in your sports ball advisory. And so for football, it's out at the field house, which is way off, like it's barely on campus.
Yeah.
At West. They don't hear the bells out there. They don't like he's never done a fire drill. He's never, because they always
like a safety issue if they can't even hear like a fire.
They always do. They always do all the drill stuff during advisory,
right?
And they're way out there. And nothing. I mean, who cares? Like if West High School was on fire, they're fine. They're absolutely fine where they are.
Presumably, yeah.
And so it's just funny. So he's never participated. So, but anyway, it's like I don't know. Like I don't understand it. Chappelle's got a great bit on it, on these active shooter drills that they do. They have kids doing. He's like, it doesn't make any sense to me other than you're trying to scare the kids,
right?
Because of the school shooters, what percentage of them are students at the school? Or were students in the schools?
Half to most.
Yeah. So you're teaching them what everybody else is going to be doing when they come in and start shooting the place up.
Right, but I mean, it's not like a secret as to what schools do anyway.
I'm just saying, though,
Usually, like they block down the doors.
Right, but if the idea is we're going to teach you guys what to do to keep you safe, you're also teaching the person who is the unsafe element in that what everybody else is doing.
Right, but again, it's not some kind of surprise. Like I think it's pretty well known that any kind of drill like that is they lock down the classroom.
Right, I agree. I'm not saying that, but to me,
so it's not teaching them anything.
It is teaching them exactly what. Right,
that's an erroneous fact.
Whatever. That's secondary. To me, leave. That's the correct answer, is leave. Run the fuck away. Get off campus. Walk out the front door. Well, not walk out the front door. Run out the front door and run into the neighborhood that's next door. Run across the sports fields, into the neighboring sports fields, into the businesses that are down the street. Get the fuck out of there. That's crazy to me that you want them to stay in place.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's the best option.
It would make more sense to me.
If they're in the hallways, you're just you're giving yourself out as a target.
Yeah. Or as opposed to you're betting on whether or not they're going to kick the.
Think about Bearden, like the West Mall. I mean, that's a huge area that most people would probably try to leave from. Like that's a prime spot to set up to get the most people trying to run
away. Sure, yeah, fair enough. That's the thing, though. It's like at least all the schools that I've been
door to get into a classroom.
All the schools that I've been in Knox County have so many egresses. Like the Rocky Hill over here, every classroom has a door outside.
Yeah.
So you can't stand in the hallway. Run out the exit door or the secret door, whatever it's called. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't want to go into the logistics of trying to figure out how to protect kids from active shooters. I would say the idea of locking the kids in a room to wait for the cavalry to arrive doesn't seem like.
I've heard of I think I've heard some instances of like the frequency of them. Because I don't know how often they do them, but I mean it's more than one a semester. But it's kind of semi-traumatized. Some kids have essentially having to kind of like go through this, every other month or whatever, or once a month.
Yeah,
having to like practice. Like, all right, kids, this is what we do if somebody starts shooting. It's like, what the fuck?
Again?
I thought I was coming here to do algebra.
You want to do a survey with me? I got a survey. This is Sarah with Xyloon Insights. We're conducting a short survey on issues important to residents of Tennessee. So this is a political survey, guaranteed. Yep. First question. How likely would you say you are to vote in the 2026 August primary election for U.S. Senate, Governor, Congress, State Senate, State House, and or other offices? I will definitely vote. Do you think you will vote in the Democratic or the Republican primary? I will vote in the Republican primary. Is this where I say allegedly so that I don't perjure myself later when I don't, or I don't break the law by taking a Republican primary because I'm not a Republican?
Was it Tourette that made the Facebook post?
Yeah.
I thought there was talk of they were going to try to go after her for something.
Will you vote or early on Election Day, or you're not sure? I vote on Election Day because I'm an American. Here are the names of the people you might hear about in politics. For each one, please indicate if you have an unfavorable or favorable opinion of him. Brent Jones.
I don't know who that is.
I got a bunch of stuff in the box underneath you about him. His stuff.
What's he running for?
18.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of Elliot Schuchard. How do you just say that word? Say that name.
It's probably Schuchard.
Elaine Davis, very unfavorable. How much have you seen, heard, or read about Elaine Davis? A whole lot. How much have you read or seen or heard about Brent Jones? A decent amount. Has what you've seen, read, or heard given you a less favorable or more favorable opinion of Brent Jones, or has it made no difference? It's made no difference because he's not Elaine Davis, so he's better. Have what you've seen, read, or heard given you a less or more favorable opinion about Elaine Davis? Much less favorable. Anything that makes her bad is bad. Where did you hear about Brent Jones? Social media, news TV. Live phone call? No, they haven't called me yet.
Smart TV. Cable TV.
So this sounds like seems like it's Brent Jones oriented, but this giant list is interesting because that is a list of where they've done advertising.
Yeah.
Website, their own website, their social media, on television news. So meaning not necessarily ads, or maybe they are meaning ads. I'm not sure, or just news coverage on him because I haven't seen news coverage on him, but I've seen his ads on TV. At a public meeting, family, friends, or acquaintances, in yard signs. I've seen his yard signs. Physical mail. Fuck yeah. Smart TV, live phone call, no. In a news or newspaper, no. Cable TV. What is cable TV? What is that?
There's some people still have
Email, radio, text message, news online, and a door-to-door canvasser. I have not seen a door-to-door canvasser yet. Where did you see, read, or hear about Elaine Davis? I have seen her website. I've seen her social media. I've seen her on the news. I've seen her in public meetings. I've met her. I've seen her yard signs. I've gotten physical mail from her. I have spoken to her on the phone. I've seen her in the paper. I don't know if I've seen her on cable TV. I definitely seen her in news online. I don't think I got a canvasser at first. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Brett Jones? Not Elaine Davis. What is the first thing when you think of Elaine Davis? She sucks. A lot. That's 2 words, sorry. A lot. No, that's not fair.
You might be right. This may be from his campaign because they haven't even mentioned the third-party person.
Yeah.
Unless this is going off like your previous answers and then it changes what it's asking you next.
First thing that comes to mind when I think of Elaine Davis is fake. That would be if I had to say one word. She doesn't care. If the Republican primary for Tennessee House Secretary was held today, which it is because we are in early voting, idiot, I think I'm going to vet for the. I think I'll probably vote for this Schubert. I'm going to lean Schubert because he's not one of those two. In the 2024 general, did you vote for Kamala, Donald, another candidate? I voted for another candidate because I'm not dumb.
I'm unsure.
Regardless of how you voted or did not vote in the last election, in politics today, do you usually think of yourself as a liberal, a moderate, or a conservative? I need help. I don't. None of the above.
Somewhat
it gives
conservative.
me the. Okay, so
moderate, maybe.
Very liberal, somewhat liberal, moderate, somewhat conservative, very conservative, progressive, or socialist. Another ideology.
Or just click another ideology. If you really wanted to self-identify.
When it comes to political parties, I'm not an independent. None. Fuck you. God damn it. When it comes to parties, do you consider yourself to be a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent? I consider myself to be part of the largest third party in the country, but it's a third party, so I guess I'm an independent.
Yeah.
Ugh. If you had to pick, would you say that your views comes closer to those of Democrats or Republicans?
Unsure.
On what issues?
Right.
Because give me an issue, and I'll probably I can tell you which one on an issue. Social issues, I'm a Democrat. Financial issues, I'm a Republican. Or identify closer to views of Republicans. I don't even know what the views of Republicans. As you think of how Donald Trump has changed the Republican Party,
it's a pretty long questionnaire.
And it is. We're halfway through. Would you say that Trump's influence on the GOP has been very negative, and it's because of Trump that I am considering leaving the Republican Party? You're right. It's taking too long. All right, I'll finish it later. I was hoping for some fireworks. Just nobody cares about me, you know?
Well, they're trying to find out about you.
Well, they're not trying to find out.
You're on the list, and
they're trying to shove me into boxes that I don't fit in. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat.
Put baby in the corner.
Most people are not Republicans or Democrats. But when you get that's to me that's attention. Like we see all this polling all the time about Republicans say this, Democrats say that, and whatever. It's like because this is the kind of questions you ask. If you're going to run down this list, I want to pick one. I want to be part of it.
Right.
Nobody wants to be Nobody wants to identify as an independent.
All right, but there's also a fact of having like too many options. You're going to get overwhelmed. So I mean, to a certain extent, in a lot of questionnaires, they've kind of got to narrow it down to 8 or less. Okay,
well they give me 2.
Well, I thought you were just getting mad because they're giving you this either or.
That's what I'm saying. They're giving me 2 that don't come close to fitting me.
Oh, on some of those questions, yeah.
Are you identify closer to Republicans or Democrats? Neither. Or yes to both. I don't know. Depends on how you look at it.
Right. Maybe they had AI do this whole thing.
I mean, I'm a social Democrat.
So you're a communist.
Do your thing. I don't care what you do with your life. The idea that your home and what you do in it and who you spend your time with is any of my business is ridiculous. And that's the full stop.
Sounds like a
which might be why my core belief in camera systems is problematic. Because what happens when, I mean, again, like that's what we're opening the door to. I'm going back to cameras. You're laughing at me. Can't help myself. But this opens the door to, okay, we're going to criminalize homosexuality again.
Huh?
So now we got camera systems.
Oh. Looks like you might be walking down the street cross-dressing.
We're criminalizing premarital sex. And you're caught, walking down the street holding hands with a woman. And that opens the investigation into whether or not you're having sex and you're not married yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it seems absurd. But a lot of things seemed absurd until they became. And they just were. And we were too busy just assuming that there's best interest, even though we all know better. Like, that's the thing, is we all know better. They're not doing things for our best interests. We know that. But we bend ourselves backwards to try to figure out how to justify that they're doing this for us. I don't know.
There's a certain kind of innate feeling that we want to think that the government is trying to work for us.
I want to believe.
Right.
I watched X-Files when I was a kid. I want to believe. It's a legendary poster. It's the best poster of all time. What else? You sent this lovely story about the Blackburn campaign.
Marsha.
News Channel 5 and their great coverage that they do. Kudos to you, News Channel 5. Philly Williams, go figure. I didn't even see his name on the byline, but I knew it was coming. Recordings from inside Blackburn's office allege pressure to break law. So you said I haven't read it through this yet, but basically the pressure was trying to get her senatorial staff to help with campaign things.
That was I think it was what I read.
So,
there was a couple that they quoted, and apparently there was recordings.
Right, well, I mean, that's what the headline says.
Right.
But this to me is where a journalist like Phil Williams gets himself in trouble. Because I read that headline and I was like, is she out there telling her staff to go murder motherfuckers?
No, I don't think it's
I'm just
alluding
saying,
to anything
it's
that malicious.
But it's alluding to something more than, hey, can you drop these flyers off in the mailer at the post office on your way? Or these, I mean, that's technically campaign work.
Right. For
a non-campaign staffer. That is probably illegal, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm thinking. I don't think that's what the average person is thinking when they read that headline.
I don't think that many people are jumping to huge
okay, murder
like
was
that.
an overstatement.
Right, but I'm saying anything just that egregious. I don't think that's the...
I think it is.
Okay.
I think that's the intent of that headline.
We are not almost in agreement.
I have a friend who has contact with Phil. I'll ask.
Because I want to say there was a story last week where the campaign, or it did come out that like the federal ethics opened up an investigation.
She's trash. What are we talking about? Like, we know this. Like, it's not a surprise. Right. That's the problem with it. Is it's not a surprise, and it's not going to lessen her chances to win this election.
But apparently, it got looked into, and they closed the investigation. I mean, which I think was her response.
John Rose put a valiant effort up. He's dead. He's dead in the water.
I think I did see an ad a couple days ago that showed that one clip that we talked about of her trying to get interviewed, of like, hey, how come you won't talk to people?
Great ad.
I talked.
Great ad. They screwed up. They screwed up at the very end of the ad. They nailed that ad. Like 98% of that ad is perfect.
I just saw the very beginning.
It's the guy. It's the reporter who's following her down the hallway, asking her questions. She's not answering. Every once in a while, she's like, "We talk to Tennesseans all the time." Right. She's like, "Why won't you do interviews? We've sent multiple requests for you to come and sit down and do an interview with us."
I talk to Tennesseans every day.
I talk to Tennesseans every day, and then she gets on the elevator. The doors close, and then the ad ends, and it's like, dude.
And like 5 more seconds.
And it was perfect. But you should have put your thing up and say it's time for whatever your phrasing is, and then go back to the elevator doors open and her having that awkward look on her face because the doors open back
I
up.
think his slogan in that one is like, keep Marcia in the Senate.
Oh, though he's got a different one that does that one. That's not that one.
Okay.
He does have one that's like, it starts off with like Trump talking about how they need to kill the filibuster, and he's like, Trump's right. They were soft in the Senate. Marcia has more work to do in Washington. She doesn't need to come back.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
She needs to finish her. You guys elected her to be senator for 6 years. She needs to finish that time and get these things done. It's time for me to take over because I'm not abandoning another job for you guys or whatever. Like that was it. That's the whole ad break there.
Yeah.
It's too bad Monty Fitz is a psychopath too, or he might have my support. But whatever. Marcia's our governor, people. Just get ready to deal with it. Going back to cameras,
ads for some
Marcia's going to be the one that's pushing laws through that make what's right or wrong. Do you think Marcia's opinion of what's right or wrong is going to be okay with with the cameras watching you? I don't. I think she's okay. She'll be like, hey, are they brown? Follow them around with the camera system.
Would probably just put it under the guise of like, we're trying to get all the illegals out.
She absolutely will. I mean, she's already said it. She's like, no cell phones for the kids in schools. What is like? That's actually good. Thank you for bringing that up. That's something I meant to bring up to you. One of her ads, she's talking about she's going to go after illegals. She's going to deport them, and she's going to hurt these cartels or she's going to hit these cartels where it hurts their wallet. Some sort of cash transaction. I can't remember what she phrased it as, but some sort of cash transaction she's going to put a stop to. Which one? How do you put a stop to a cash transaction functioning in the first place?
If it's trying to stop like money orders being sent outside of the country.
I don't know.
But I think that's how a lot of it's done.
But it's like, okay, cool, I guess. But is that going to affect me and you? Because that's to me that's one of those universal principles that I struggle with the most.
I mean, their theory is that that's money that would be spent in the state that's being sent out of the state.
Right. And again, and not in a lot, or even not, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, okay, I can agree with you. I don't like the fact that somebody comes legally or illegally, comes in this country, works, and sends their money home to their family. I'd rather they bring their family here and let that money stay here because that's good for our economy. I get the principle. I'm not arguing with that at all. What are you making illegal? Like, what are you putting a stop to? And who is affected by that other than the intent? Because I'll bet you there are lots of people that deal in whatever system that is that she's going to kill for their livelihood. I don't know. Maybe a small business that operates in like importing specialty Mexican goods. Like maybe a Mexican restaurant that orders some like peppers or something, like something very specific.
Right. That they get direct
and
from out
fun
of the country.
that they get direct from the farmer down there, and they have a relationship with them, and they do their business that way. All the tariffs and all the proper importing things in play, but the way they transact is the same way that illegals transact. I guarantee it. There are multiple versions of that in play. Am I going to be able to order my specialty cheese from France for my restaurant? No. Because I'm doing the same technical transaction as she's banning? I'll bet you that's what it's going to affect. And everybody's too frothy and crazy about hating on the Hispanics to take a second and go, okay, we agree. We don't want that to happen. But by you stopping that, you're going to stop this and this and this and this. Is anybody looking at that? Because I doubt it. And then the other question, honestly, we can back up. And then maybe the first question should be, is that something that the governor of the state of Tennessee can actually fucking do? Because I doubt that.
Yeah, I'd say it's more of a federal thing.
So you want to come be the governor of a state to do a federal law
Yeah, you currently have
that
some
you
oversight
currently
over.
have some work, like have some place to do. Right. Why didn't you already do it? Like if it's that easy, why didn't you already get it done? What are you doing? So I don't know. Like I don't know. Like again, I don't know the specifics. I am just at the level of skeptic at this point, where I assume there are second, not even third, fourth, fifth order consequences, but there are first and second order consequences for normal people, law-abiding, regular people, living their lives, doing the best they can to support themselves and their families and whatever. who are going to be negatively affected by whatever it is she's trying to do. And maybe more than we think, because nobody really thinks about it. Like, I've done it. I've done a wire, a money order to China.
Yeah.
Fuck, I should have said that out loud. Well, fuck, they already know it anyway. I have to register all sorts of shit to do that transaction through the bank anyway. But, you know, like, I ordered like a crate direct from China of product at one point early in our careers at the shop. Because everything we get is made in China because...
Right, but you did it all legitly.
I mean, yes, but... And it was good for us. I mean, it was difficult. Like, it was a process. It was a process, but, you know, you take $5-8 a unit off of something you're selling for $30. You know, it's a significant margin difference.
Right.
And it took us a while to move through it, and I had to do some creative things in sales, and worked with some other shops and sold off some stuff to some other shops and did some things to get it done. But again, you know, was it a correct business move for us? No, maybe yes, no, I don't know. But for maybe the better example would be for one of my suppliers, who is the one that's importing into the country. Now their access to product gets weird, and if their access to product gets weird, my access to product gets weird.
Right.
You know, whereas it's you know, and again, if she's doing it from the Tennessee perspective, then we have this weird second order thing where it's like, okay, well, everything goes into Michigan or Colorado or Illinois, and then it gets dipped here, and nothing changes. I don't know. I say, like, my assumption is, it's not as easy as she's like. It's easy. This is what I'm going to do. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
It's like, no, you're not. Well, I don't know if you are or not. I don't know if you can or not. And if you can, it's not going to be that easy. But, you know, we're going to vote for you because...
Yeah, I think even like commerce from state to state is still regulated federally. Yeah.
Well, sort of. I mean, business to... Like, that's one of the weird things that I know personally, and it's a struggle, is like business to business, yes. Like, if you're a business in the state of Tennessee and you want to import in from Kentucky, state law can intercede very easily.
Can?
Yes.
Okay.
State law can make it very difficult. And you have some obligation as the company in Kentucky as well as the company in Tennessee to understand the law of that transaction, because you can both be under some scrutiny for that action. But that same company in Kentucky selling to a end user in Tennessee has way less worry, even though that one's more explicitly illegal.
Yeah,
it's just harder. It's just too impossible. It's not impossible. I don't know. Like they can block porn. They should be able to block out of state websites from selling products that are illegal in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah,
but they're not doing it.
That's why I saw John Rowe's ad pop up on this story.
Yeah, I saw it on there too.
I was like, there's some proper ad placement.
I mean, those motherfuckers are spending money. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't care. I do care. I think that's. I mean, I think it's an interesting story to have, and it's important to cover that.
Like I was saying, I don't think it's going to get broadcast. Like I said, that's a national news story.
Oh,
I haven't seen it here. I mean, we're the third, fourth largest city. You would think it might pop up on one of our local stations, which, I don't know, maybe Knox News. Maybe they covered it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I doubt it. It's such a trash paper.
I mean, you would think it being like a governor's race, any kind of story may, maybe not necessarily front page, but might be somewhere in there. So I think they still have a politics section.
They do. Allie Five Mom's not bad at it. Well, she's the local. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see a lot of it. And then you reshared this one because we did talk about it last week. 2 weeks ago?
I think it was last week.
Yeah, it was last week because 2 weeks ago was my mini episode solo when I was discussing. I took my solo time to talk about my joyous adventure across the Donald J. Trump Bridge. Unfortunately, no, I'm not going to say that. Never mind. And then we were talking about the naming of bridge stuff, and then you'd mentioned a story about the Vietnam Bridge being some Vietnam bridge in Tennessee.
Not a bridge, it's a highway.
Or
a stretch of a highway, I guess it would be.
It was renamed for Charlie Kirk, and the Vietnam vets got pissed off.
Yeah.
Apparently, this headline: Charlie Kirk Memorial signs moved from Tennessee Highway after lawmakers received pushback from Vietnam veterans. You know why it matters when Vietnam veterans push back?
Because they're still a large voting bloc.
Because they're old and they vote.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, they vote because they're old. I don't know. It's a chicken or the egg. Old and vote, vote and old. It's chicken and the egg.
Yeah.
It matters to these idiots when old people get mad. And I tried to explain that to my dad, and I don't know how to try to activate my dad. I'm trying to radicalize my dad, I think.
Really?
Not on purpose, but I'm trying to legitimately,
Does he go out and vote?
He always votes.
Yeah.
But if I think that the test one would be one, he's already been published by News Sentinel at least once, in an op-ed. But I'll bet you if I wrote an op-ed and I gave my dad a copy and we both submitted that to News Sentinel, mathematically odds are his is going to get published, not mine. That could be a tough one.
If you added in the bio of hey, I'm a former veteran, you're probably more likely to get that in there.
I mean,
same being if you're I'm a local small business owner.
Yeah, that's fair.
May give you a little bit of a leg up.
And then to be fair, also, not that this podcast has the audience I wish it did, but there are a handful of people that I know listen to this podcast, and maybe more importantly, listen to the Compass podcast and know who I am.
Yeah.
That might give me an extra second of a look.
True.
But it doesn't matter. I wouldn't publish my op-ed because I don't know that I could produce an op-ed that was suitable for print. Grammar, spelling, and public decency are not my strong points.
Right.
I just I don't even know what to write an op-ed on. If I realistically, if I was going to try to write an op-ed right now, it would be this is how sad the political situation has gotten that we're choosing between shit, turds, and nobody.
Some dookie.
I mean, and some no name that has no chance. And in my head, the no name is winning because it's not shit or a turd.
Right.
And that would be the totality of my op-ed. It's this is.
Well, that's why some people have voted. They're like,
this
I
is
don't
your
care who
right.
it is. It's anybody but.
And then the totality of my op-ed would be how this is your fault. People that read this shit newspaper, Knox Sentinel, because you vote for the people that we have to choose from. They understand how to sell to you. This is just marketing. It's marketing 101. They figured out how to sell to you so that you would vote for them so that they could do whatever they want. Because you don't follow up on what you're actually asking for. You're active voters, lazy voters. Or lazy constituents. Active voters, lazy constituents.
Yeah.
And selfish to boot. What you do get activated about, what gets you off your butts in your laziness is stuff that only affects you. I might have hurt my mom's feelings. I don't feel bad about it. I don't, because it's true. Because I believe,
open up her eyes to an extent.
I believe her when she says she cares about public schools.
Right.
I do. I believe that she does care, but not enough to figure out how to support them.
Right. And
I told her that in my way that's never particularly nice. I have issues. I love my mother. I really do. I have a hard time with communicating with my mother. Anyway, and so it's I believe you, Mom. I do, except if you truly do, you need to take the time and energy to figure out the candidates who actually are on the same page as you and are going to do the things that you think are right. Because my mom's super excited. I think Marsha's got my mom's vote right now because of the no cell phone thing. Which
That's not her. I mean, some people do find a particular
I don't know.
topic they like, and they're like, okay.
All right, but it's weird to me because but again, it's interesting to me because I sat and I was talking to them and I was hanging out with both of them and they were asking me who to vote for and stuff like that. And it was a very interesting conversation because my parents are boomers, they're just truly boomers. And it's I was like, the one thing that I struggle with most is all of our governors, all of the people running for the Republican primary on governor in the state of Tennessee, the two that matter, Rose and Blackburn. Fritz is really not a real conversation. And there's 4 other Republicans in the primary that nobody's heard of. I don't remember what the total number is, but it's a bunch. But the top two candidates are fighting over the Trump endorsement. Even though Trump said he's not going to give it, but they're both implying it hand over fist.
Right.
Any way they can figure out how to own it, they're owning the Trump category. And like I'm talking to my parents, and I'm like, does that sell to you guys? And they're like, no.
It sells to enough of
but does it? I don't know. That's
base.
the question. Is like, does it really? Like? I mean,
it's still a decent, quote unquote voting block.
But to me, like that's the thing. To me, it's like at this point, like you get into the surveys right now and Trump's current approval rating and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's good anymore. I hope it's not. But the problem is that it's gonna look good in Tennessee because one of these two idiots is gonna win.
Well, it's still a decent chunk of people that are like diehard. Doesn't matter. They'll still support the president. So, I mean, to those people, if their guy is endorsing, they take that as, as the gospel being bestowed upon.
A, he's not officially, but B...
Right, but if you watch the ads and you're
that's
a little dim, then they're still...
Right. That's the implication that they're...
I mean, Marsha has more clips that she's able to show of Trump talking about her.
Right, and her in his presence.
I think Rose has him shaking his hand and kind of one little bit of talking about him per second.
I mean, he's got him standing behind the Resolute desk with a bill that Trump signed.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
But I mean, I don't know. Like to me, it's the bottom line question to me is that it doesn't matter at this point in Tennessee. Is one candidate that is trying to be Trump is going to win. But like in a real world, I feel like that should be I feel like we've crossed the Rubicon on this one, even in Tennessee. Like I don't know, we'll see. Betsy's the same way. Betsy is the Trump candidate, and she said it, and she's going to win. But like I don't know, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe they can keep running that playbook, and they're just going to run straight into a brick wall here in a couple more years. Because once Trump's off the table. Assuming he's off the table at some point. I don't know how well that's going to keep hold. I don't know how well the new Trump Republican is going to exist without Trump. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you've still got the quote unquote MAG or whatever.
Yeah, but who's the new
ideology?
Who's the new cult of personality to run it? Because nobody else gets away with it. Like Trump, even the 4 years that Trump was gone, he still made himself known in political circles. Yeah, but lots of candidates, but when he wasn't president and he was endorsing, lots of candidates he's endorsing weren't winning.
But some still were.
Some still were, but not all.
I don't know if it was a plurality of
but
them.
that's the thing about Trump is that he is the cult of personality that makes it work. Despite,
I mean, even with. I don't know necessarily because of his endorsement, but I mean, even with these low polling numbers, some of the recent primaries, he's done pretty well of the candidates he's backed or whatever or recommended to states.
I mean, are we going to lose are the Republicans going to lose the House? Probably.
It's hard to say.
No, they're going to lose the House.
I think I saw some clip that was talking about it. Maybe in Breaking Points.
I think we're going hard. They were
showing even Fox News, and their kind of guesstimation was that. The Dems could take back control of the House, not necessarily the Senate, but there were still a number of toss-up races, toss-up states or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was, Texas, California, and a few other states. I think Virginia all did redistricting.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The main Senate race got upended and then re-ended with
Plattner. Yeah.
Yeah. Graham Plattner being a Nazi or whatever, and finally the Dems were like, okay, we'll get rid of this guy. And then whomever they replace him with is surging real hard because Suzanne Collins, right?
Yeah.
Is not popular. And every ounce of headway that she made, she loses again as soon as the war in Iran restarted. But I don't know. I don't think... I don't think MAGA Republicanism survives more than about a year once Trump's out of office. Because I don't think Trump Like, I think Trump's going to Monaco or some shit. Like, he's going to go resettle in a non-extradition country as soon as he gets out of office.
So he'll personally rebuild the Golden Gaza Zone.
I mean, he needs to get out. I mean, like, will we have a, was that Lyndon?
Who?
LBJ?
What about him?
Followed Dixon?
No, LBJ came in when JFK was assassinated.
Okay, sorry. So who was Nixon's replacement?
Ford. Gerald Ford.
Yeah, the Gerald Ford pardoning of Nixon thing.
Right.
And it's like everybody's like, oh, we need to prosecute, we need to do all this stuff, and it's like, like for the health of the nation, we need to just be like, Nixon, just go away, just disappear. Like, 'cause, I mean, how long did Nixon live after he left office?
I think he died in the early 90s.
Yeah. So 15 years after he left office, but it wasn't a topic. To me, that was Gerald Ford said, "Hey, man, just go away, just shut your fuck up, refuse all interviews, and let us heal." Now, will Trump do that? Fuck no, he won't do that.
Yeah, we didn't hear much. I don't know if he was still doing stuff.
when Gavin Newsom or whomever the Democrats get on there who ends up winning the next presidential election, and Trump leaves the White House, it's going to be, hey, man, just shut up. Just shut up, and we won't prosecute all the shit that you did. Because you did it. Everybody knows you did it. There's no questions here.
I could see that scenario if
he won't shut up.
If a Republican went in. You might see that, but the opposing party, I don't think they would.
No, I mean, there is need for the Democrats to try to prosecute. And so either way, I mean, but which 6.5 does, it makes my point. I think the second, Trump gets, he does the handshake transition, like they do on January 6th or 20th or whenever the actual transition is. He does the handshake, he gets into the limo, drives off, gets on a plane, and goes to Tahiti or some non-extradition country.
Maybe that's why his
and settles.
Daughter and son-in-law bought that island.
And lives out of the rest of his days and dies there. And probably, he's truthing his ass off from there, but that's it. And God help us, I hope that's the case. I really do. Like, I don't think it's any long-term good for the country to go through hearing after hearing and prosecution after prosecution.
Right.
Like, I don't think that's any good for the country, because all that's going to do is embolden the right to fight back, and then they're going to get in, and they're going to prosecute, blah, blah, blah. It's just going to become this back and forth mess for the next 20, 50 years.
Tit for tat.
Right. And so it's like, disappear into the ether. You're going to live forever, Trump. You did it. Congratulations. You are an integral part of the history of the world. Die happy and leave us alone.
He's not going to do that. Especially, like you said, he has his own social media. He's going to, at the very least, keep putting down his truths.
Agreed. But, when he's out there in the ether and it's not as direct and all that kind of shit, I feel like it falls apart.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think the...
I think there'll be enough people that'll still try to ride his coattails until when and if he becomes irrelevant.
That's what, right. But I think it's gonna be super quick. I think in the 2028 election cycle, anybody running for Senate or House or whatever that's running on the Trump coattails cycle, like they're running, like anybody running like Marsha's running right now, in the 28 cycle is going to get dog stopped.
I mean, if his approval rating stays kind of where it's at now.
Well, it can get technically worse, I think. I'm not sure exactly.
It can also go up depending on what he does.
I mean, well, it will because it becomes ineffectual because it's going to be real lame duck time. Or he goes fucking crazy and it goes into the dirt. Like, I think, like Trump right now, he's going to be lucky if he finishes his term with his current. That's my take. His current approval rating, which is in the shit. Do what?
Lucky if he finishes what now?
If he finishes his term in as good as his approval rating is right now.
That's not good right now. It's
I know,
like 38% or something like that.
I know, but the only way, it should stay there or rise if he just...
If it stays as mediocre as it is now.
Right. Because he's not going to accomplish much, except for some new war shit and whatever like that. Like, the only thing he can do if it's truly lame duck, is going to be shit that's going to really piss a lot of people off. Because it'll all be executive order stuff. It'll be foreign war stuff. It'll be things that are inside the branch that may or may not technically, like he'll lean harder into the refusal to play by the rules stuff.
Possibly.
And that's going to piss people off.
Possibly.
I mean, I don't see it any other way. Like, if where we're at right now, that the House and the Senate are we're 50-50 in the Senate?
No, I think it's like 52-48.
Okay. And we're plus whatever in the House, and they're not good enough for him now. What's going to happen when that flips over? He's going to be a full-on toddler brat. Just pitching fits about not being able to do all the things he wants to do.
Very possibly.
Because if the Dems take either body, they're shutting everything he's doing down for the rest of his term.
Yeah.
So did that housing bill ever pass?
Yeah, that was one that he
held up because he wanted his fucking election law.
I think he was trying to hold it up. That was one that was the one he didn't sign. Because then we were talking about it last week or whatever, where I was kind of curious if the governor can do the same thing. Or no, we were talking about it if Betsy might be able to do that.
Right.
Basically, let the county commission pass something, and she just doesn't veto it, but doesn't sign it, and it de facto becomes statute or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's some of the technicality stuff I still need to figure out. Like, I don't know. On the local one, I don't know the answer to that.
Right.
But whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the thing. The reality of that is irrelevant for Betsy's case.
Well, I mean, that gives her
she could say it.
A little bit of fodder.
She could do it. She could do it.
I didn't pass it.
She can do it, and she can veto it, and then the county commission can come back behind her and
override it.
But she still presided over a tax increase. Doesn't matter.
Right, but she held up her sin that she wasn't going to do it.
But I don't. That does not matter.
She tried to fight it.
Does not matter to voters.
She gave up the valiant fight.
Right, which means, you want to select you again so you can be a fucking loser in the future? Cool. You can't do that. You promised you wouldn't let this happen, and it happened. You did everything you could, but you failed. I don't want to fucking failure. Move on.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, politically, yes, that's the correct answer. I mean, that is the truth.
I think some would still view it as she did try to fight it.
Yeah, but she failed to succeed.
Right.
Fair enough. It depends on the alternate. Like, what are the alternates? Like, what is the decision between? Will be the bigger one.
Right.
But still,
how many people,
somebody new promising to not do a thing, at least hasn't failed to not do the thing yet.
I mean, there's probably enough people that think that the mayor has, an over equal amount of power.
You and me, you are going to be my campaign manager and
you just said treasurer.
And treasurer.
Not going to be campaign manager? You're sure to lose.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I love you, buddy, but no, that's not the job for you.
Right.
Campaign. I think you could do the treasurer job. It's not that bad.
And then you have plausible deniability when I fuck up numbers.
No, I don't. I'm still responsible, and so are you. Look, you can write legitimately. Go look them up. Go look up some financial statements. You can do it. It's stupid easy. It's literally.
I hate Excel.
It's literally. These are the donations we got. This is what we spent it on. We brought in 100. We spent 50. We have 50 left.
And just keep up with deadlines, and when I have to.
Right. Just every time we do a transaction as a campaign, you make a note, in or out, and then when the deadline comes, you submit those notes.
It's like monthly disclosure. You have to
quarterly. So every 3 months.
Quarterly.
Yeah. I can build a spreadsheet for you. Just fill in the blanks.
You can have AI do that for you now.
There we go. Do it. Make it so. Like I really kind of like the.
Then I got to pay for the campaign has to pay for an AI subscription if we want a quality one.
Yeah, we can, and we will. Campaign can pay for that as long as it's for the sake of the campaign. We can do it.
True.
That reminded me, I meant to look this up for you and send it to you earlier. No. Where is it?
If there's something else I saw locally.
Go ahead.
Did you see One Knox is going to have...
Shell Game.
A Shell Game.
Shell Game is the podcast
Okay.
that did the AI stuff that I was telling you about.
Gotcha.
And so I think okay, here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
We are going to reach out to the host journalist that did Shell Game and say, hey, I got an idea for your next podcast. You want to do another season? We're going to take what you did in season 2 and we're going to make that into my campaign.
Maybe.
And he can produce a podcast out of that, and we can pay him for it out of our donation funding, and he can pay that even if the podcast sucks or whatever. But
stop pointing at me.
We can make the podcast a joint venture between Barbarian Productions and his production company. And if it succeeds and we sell ads and we do all the shit with the podcast side, or like one of the major podcast companies picks it up and pays $1 million for our podcast or whatever, Barbarian Productions can get paid for that, and that's not... And whether we win the election or not, we can get paid on the other side for the production company that we do here. Yes, sir, we got a plan. And it's not illegal, I don't think. Jamie, give me a call. Let's work that part out to see if we make sure I don't violate any
campaign
ethics.
Finance.
I mean, the
or
point
is it more on the ethics side.
The point is not to again the shit. I shouldn't have said it out loud. The intent is not to do the campaign for the sake of making the podcast or then make money. The campaign is I want to be mayor of Knox County because I want to preside. I want to be the mayor that presides over the metro because I am convinced that the only reason we don't have metro is politics.
You think that's possible to accomplish in one term?
Fuck yeah! Listen, motherfuckers, this is what we're going to do. That's my campaign stance. Listen. Where do you live? I live in Powell. Okay, cool. When you write a letter, what do you put in the return address?
Knoxville.
When a letter comes to your house, what does it say in your address? What is your address when a letter shows up at your house? Knoxville. We're Metro. Shut the fuck up. It's that easy. If you want to be number 1A, I will actually, I don't know the legal process of this. Number 1A will be, I will go to the state and try to kill Farragut. That's number 1A in my Metro plan. Just kill Farragut. Kill Farragut first.
That's going to be even bigger.
Oh, it'll be fun. It'll be real fun.
You have to unincorporate them, or whatever. Take them off.
I get them to dissolve, whatever.
Null and void their charter.
No, I think to me, you go out through Knox County Schools. Get Knox County Schools to sue them. Because the most affluent neighborhoods in Knox County pay the least in the Knox County Schools. If you pay sales tax in Farragut, if you go shopping in Farragut and pay sales tax, 50% of that sales tax collection goes to Knox County Schools. If you go pay anywhere else in Knox County, in the city of Knoxville, or anywhere else in the county that isn't in the incorporated portion of Farragut, 62% of that, 72% of that goes to Knox County Schools. So that's the start. Whether you get sued for it or not, but the start is just a smear campaign on you guys are fucking assholes. Go suck a dick.
Deprivation of funds.
They're actively asking for. They want the high dollar. They want to have a fucking Gucci store. You want the highest dollar retail establishments in Knox County, and you don't want to pay what everybody else is paying.
They put a Dollar General out there.
But
they're trying to act like common folk.
You're going to pay the same sales tax, but your sales tax is going to go to your mini government of bullshit instead of paying for the schools that you also use. Fuck your mother. In general, that's my take on those guys.
Okay.
I hate Farragut. Like, I hate it. Like, I hate that it's its own municipality. It's genius. I'm super, like, I would love to meet the people that did it. I'm curious what the history is of. Like, I don't know the history of when they incorporated as a township.
Right.
Brilliant move. Kudos. High five. I want to destroy you. Because you are a net negative for the community. I want to get rid of your ass.
I don't think you can quite word it like that.
Yeah. I said it out loud. I'm going to release this thing. I mean, look, man.
I mean, in your campaign.
Yeah, I can, but as I said, I have to. I can't not.
I mean, not quite the same words.
Because I did. I mean, again, it goes back to the thing we were talking about last week about this whole Bo trip to Venezuela thing. It's like, you know it's there, man. You knew it was there. You knew somebody was going to find it. Like, literally, my announcement to run for mayor is like, hey, if you're curious, go listen to the podcast. I've evolved over time. There's some things I've said on the podcast that I disagree with now, that I've adjusted. But go listen to the podcast. You're going to hear lots of my thoughts on lots of fucking things. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't say those things. It's on tape.
Yeah.
It exists. So, let's go. But I'm saying, like, you know, and again, it's not me trying to promote the podcast, but it's like, I'm not going to deny that I didn't say it. I said it and I published it. I'm not trying to pretend like it doesn't exist. So, yeah, I said fuck Farragut. I say fuck Farragut. Like, I really don't, like, I hate, like, I don't know, whatever. If you're into that shit, fine, happy, good for you. When we can work that out, we can meld that into the metro plan. If we want to have a subsection of zoning code shit that has, like, you're not allowed to have a sign that sticks up more than 7 feet, okay, fine. We can make that thing. Like, my big stuff, like, my big
by district?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's zoning and codes and all the kind of shit. It's like, you have all these different subcodes and sub-residential coding and shit. Like, to me, like, the big one to me,
things like that.
Like one of the biggest ones to me, and I've said this on the show before, it's like, the biggest one to me is, like, if you are on Kingston Pike, if you're on Western, if you're on Broadway, if you're on all these major, quote, thoroughfares that we have considered this way, and we're treating this way, and we're doing all these things, like, I don't want to see another goddamn parking lot. Put your shit on stilts. Put your parking lot underneath your building. We waste so much land with parking lots. It's crazy to me. Like, look at West Town Mall, for fuck's sake. They built a parking garage that fills to the roof. Like, I have gone in there to go to a movie, which is what that was part of that remodel they did.
Right.
I've gone to the mall to go see a movie, and I've gone to the parking garage and had to park on the top floor of the parking garage. Go watch my movie and look out from my parking space into the parking lot that is still mostly empty.
Unlike their kind of regular parking lot or whatever.
Right, to the actual ground level parking lot. Like, we could do this, people. Like, it's not crazy. Like, I mean, hell, if I'm Simon Malls, I don't know, just take a corner of the thing and put some stilts up and build another building and rent out, you know, another 10,000, 100,000 square feet of retail space on that same piece of land. A floor up over the parking lot that already exists. Who cares? You can do it. It's magic. All right, let's get weird. You got something, don't you?
Weird, yeah.
I mean, the cameras suck. I don't know. I got weird on you. I apologize. I got weird on your weird. I put you on the spot. I didn't know if you saw what time it was.
Oh, yeah, I saw it was getting close, yeah.
I mean, you were looking at your phone, and it was getting close, and I figured you knew what we were doing.
I was trying to get it pulled up, so I wasn't waiting for shit to load.
All right, well, I can talk some bullshit on you. I put some pomegranates in my rum, and that was delicious, by the way.
Pomegranate?
Yeah.
Juice?
No, like frozen pomegranates.
Huh.
I made an ice cube of strawberries and frozen pomegranates.
I bet.
It's a very nice little on top of the wonderful rum flavor.
We got a nice little happy story. Superman, superhero, jumps to the aid of a man using a wheelchair to cross several lanes of traffic. A man was using a wheelchair, was struggling to get across 6 lanes of traffic in Arkansas when help came in an unexpected way from a spidery superhero who jumped into action from a red Jeep waiting at a light.
Decent human beings doing decent human being shit.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Ran out to help,
6
declaring,
lanes?
quote, "I got you." He swiftly rolled the person in the wheelchair to safety only seconds before light changed and rows of traffic advanced. It was captured by a street security camera. Thankfully, helping the man reach.
Way to make sure that point was clear.
Said I had a bunch of adrenaline pumping through me. I was just kind of thinking, I'm wearing this suit. It's going to be pretty funny.
Why was he wearing the suit?
I love it said.
I'm in my Jeep in my Spider-Man costume, going to the Marvel Con to check out the things going on. I'm going to help a good citizen. Like, why was he in the suit?
So I was trying to see if it mentioned it.
So, all right. So some weirdo helped another weirdo out. Great. I love it.
Let's see here. I guess the guy he works with said, quote, "Very much like him to do something like that, and very much like him to be still in costume."
Why was he in
So I guess
costume in the first place?
I don't know. Didn't go into specifics, and I guess maybe he didn't answer it. Or they left it out of the story for, word count to keep it down.
That's
Who
not.
knows?
I protest at length. I'm not okay with this. All right, we're bringing that back. You're going to bring that back next week with some more details.
There's very rarely ever a follow-up on
What?
I said there's very rarely ever a follow-up on
I'm just saying,
stories
like,
like
you're
that.
telling me some dude's in a Spider-Man costume that comes to save the day, and there's no mention of why he was in the Spider-Man costume?
I don't think I was glossing over pretty quickly, but I don't think it mentioned it.
I mean, that's, like, come on. Like, I'm not a journalist, obviously. But, hey, man, kudos for helping a person out. Can you tell me why you're wearing this right now? I think would be a pretty obvious question to ask. Anyway, next story.
All right, we got 3 women's world records set at the annual Lumberjack World Championships in Wisconsin.
All right, I'll touch my MAGA stone for a second. Were they all actually women?
I believe so. Get 3 world new records.
I mean, get it, girls. I'm saying, as long as you're girls, get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a complicated political state, so I can see it going either way.
3-day competition in Hayward that ended Saturday. They represented 16 states and 9 countries. Competitors take their gear seriously with custom-built chainsaws, carefully sharpened axes, and single buck saws. That's one you can do back and forth.
Yeah, lumberjack games are
Costs up
legit.
to $400 just to sharpen.
Yeah.
Got a woman from Czech Republic set world records in 2 events. First place in women's underhand chop, cutting through 11 inches of white pine in 21.28 seconds. And then the sanding chop. Let's see here. Record in the women's boom run, sprinting across the water and back over 8 red cedar logs in 13.78 seconds. So women have been competing since 1960.
Have you ever watched lumberjack games?
Yeah.
It's intense. Way to go, girls. It's weird to me. Like, like lumberjack games are one of those examples of, like, humans are weird. Like, we are competitive. We are a competitive species in the weirdest ways.
Yeah, maybe there's like firefighter games.
Yeah. Which are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, hanging
So
off
one,
the
I
truck.
think it was a part of firefighter games. I want to say it was in like some South Pacific country. But there was it's like a single ladder that had kind of hooks on the top of it to where they had to like climb up one story, then take that same thing and like hook it onto the next story.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
I've seen one where it's one of those where they throw the ladder up, and then it's like a bucket brigade. And it's the craziest thing, like
a daisy chain of carrying a bucket
dudes,
of water.
Just like a bunch of dudes all the way up the ladder, and dudes in the bottom. They're just throwing buckets up. They're throwing the bucket off the top, and it's like,
I don't think I've seen that.
And then I've seen some
where they got to carry it's like 100 pounds worth of hose or whatever.
I've seen some where they roll the hose and they hook it up. Like there's like a dude hanging off the back of a truck, and it's like a fucking drag race setup. It's 2 trucks side by side, right?
Yeah.
Dude's hanging off the back of these trucks. And the truck peels out, stops. Well, it doesn't quite. So, dude jumps off while it's slowing down, coming to a stop, pulls a hose off, throws the hose. The truck falls off or flies out. While the truck's flying away, he's hooking up to the fire hydrant or whatever over here, where another guy jumps off, throws the hose out in front of him, hooks the first hose up to the second hose. Another guy jumps off, grabs that second hose that the dude ran, hooks it up to a third hose, throws the third hose out, and the truck stops where the third hose ends, where they hook the truck back, or they hook the truck or the hose back up to the truck, to the ladder on top of the truck that has a hose on it, and they blow water out. And it's like all this like super uber time shit, and it's like, that's impressive. And I get it, because it's the logical conclusion of the competition of getting better at the actual task.
Right.
But good God, people, what are we doing?
And something like that when, what they say, seconds matter, when it really does come down to it.
Right. And it's just again, it's literally it's a practice thing that they do to practice to get better at it. No combination of those things are going to happen in reality, but individual parts and pieces do.
Right.
And this is the way they do it. And then it turns into a competition, and that's the thing. I think it's cool. I think it's weird. I think humanity is crazy. I mean, hell, we spent the last, handful of episodes talking about World Cup stuff and how awesome the World Cup is. It's stupid.
The last game was crazy.
If you pause it for half a second.
The third place game was crazy. It was 6-4.
Yeah. But if you pause and think about it for a second, it's stupid. We're dumb.
The World Cup?
Yeah. It's all dumb.
What's stupid about it? It's competition.
It's amazing, and I love to watch it. Don't get me wrong. It's just
they provide for who gets to be the best team for the next 4 years.
Yeah, and what's
it's all something. The teams don't get to keep it. They get to have the trophy for a little while, but after 2 or 3 months, it goes back to wherever the headquarters for FIFA is, in Switzerland or whatever.
Oh, is it?
And stays on display there.
Yeah, that's lame.
I thought they made a new World Cup for each World Cup.
I would think they got to keep it.
They get to keep it for a little while. They get to parade it out for a little while.
I mean, the Stanley Cup is the best trophy in all of major sports. Full stop. It's the best one. Period. Have I made my feelings clear about camera systems? I don't know if I have.
More to
Actually,
follow.
I'm more upset that I've already made this clear, and it's taken this long for anybody else to come around. So tell your friends about the show, because you'll get the correct answer first here from me, instead of waiting for months and months and months for some other idiot to tell you that I'm right in the first place. Almost Agreement at gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Go there. Go outside, check out where we're going. Go to your favorite podcast where we're available on all those things. Like, share, follow, text us your friends. Do what you do to support the show. We appreciate you guys for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of me complaining about things that suck. And yeah, anyway, that's what we do. Thanks, everybody. See you later.